Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 815 of FloWrestling Radio Live. 8:15 being the time we're supposed to start this show. Normally do. Sometimes we miss it. We're never early, that's being professional. We're sometimes late, that's out of precaution. 8:19, that's not so bad. That's not a bad start time.
It's probably, I think that may be a Keith Gothard area code right there. I know it's somewhere
Illinois.
in the Chicago area.
Wow. Okay.
It's the suburbs.
Shout out to Keith Gothard. He's in the chat all ready to go. Special day today because we got JD. That's special. We got Ben. That's special. But Shane Sparks and John Kozak. Oh my gosh. Culver's on me later today. Let's go, boys.
Well, hey, Christian, I wanted to start the show off by Shane. You need to tell these guys two things. Number one, that the Dells is not a romantic location to take a lady because we know you're quite the ladies' man.
Just right back into the
two,
Wisconsin romance talk.
Right before the show, I asked you what is the most romantic place to take a woman in Oshkosh, and you were about to tell me, and these guys cut us off.
Yeah, so first of all, yesterday I listened to it. I love Wisconsin Dells. I love it. But I would agree with you, Ben, as far as, although I will say this. In Wisconsin Dells, there's a place called Ishnala right on the lake. You ever been there? Ishnala is one of my favorite restaurants ever. I mean, what fantastic place. Fantastic. But that's, I would say in Oshkosh, not a lot of great restaurants here, but if I had to pick one, there's one called TJ's Harbor House. That's right on Lake Winnebago. It's pretty nice. There's another one called Beckett's that I like, but yeah, not great restaurants in Oshkosh.
At Winnebago.
Well, yeah, Winnebago.
Lake Winnebago, guys, I believe. Ben, you know of Lake Winnebago.
It's a big lake. It's a huge lake.
I believe it's the largest inland lake in the country.
Huh.
What about the Great Lakes? They don't count?
They're pretty big.
Those aren't inland.
Yeah,
What
but
makes
they're
them
not inland. Yeah,
so I mean by inland. Why are they not inland? They're not in the ocean.
I could be wrong on this. I might be letting the but I've always said you never
could
let the
definitely
facts get in the way of a good story.
The largest non-Great Lakes lake.
Maybe that's what it is. I think it's I think it's huge. It's a big lake. It's humongous. I also believe, and I could be wrong on this too. I think Lake Winnebago is like one of only a couple lakes in the country that allows sturgeon spearing or has sturgeon spearing, which I've never done. You ever see that, Ben? You ever see sturgeon spearing?
I got some redneck friends that I think Keegan O'Toole probably did some sturgeon spearing. They definitely I don't know anything about fishing, but they definitely stabbed the fish or maybe shot it with a bow and arrow. I'm not sure
I think
what they did.
I've never
Something
seen
like
it.
That was going
but
on.
you basically sit around a hole and you throw a spear into a sturgeon, which I've never done it. I will say this. I've never done it. I wouldn't mind giving it a try just to see what it's like, but it's always I think the season is in February and it's always wrestling. So I've never done it, but they love it.
Fishing lakes in Wisconsin in February? How?
I think sturgeon spearing is maybe it's January, but I think it's I'd have to look. It's like I think it's
sturgeon
like
season.
And that season I think is based on how many fish are, how many fish get quote unquote caught.
Hey, so we got to fact check ourselves here, Shane. Including the Great Lakes, Lake Winnebago is the 28th largest in the United States.
And
however,
pretty close.
There's a bunch of man-made ones. There's like 7 or 8 man-made ones above it. So, they're cheating.
I think it's the largest in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's big lake.
Sounds like a good place to get a nice walleye.
Hey, Christian. Real wrestling talk.
What?
Tell you every state's got their deal. Texas is barbecue.
We're not going to have the show.
Texas is barbecue. Wisconsin's thing is fish fries. Like Christian JD, you guys need to get up to Wisconsin for a Friday night fish fry because there's nothing better. I mean, we do it better than anybody.
All right.
Right,
there
Ben?
it is.
No, I hate fish fry. I've never eaten one ever. All right, Christian, I have some real wrestling news to report.
Okay, report.
Well,
reporter
real wrestling rumors, not news. I have not verified this from the source or nothing. That being said,
I have
three separate individuals who are not connected all tell me the same thing last night. And I thought, wow, usually where there's this much smoke, there's fire. You want to hear what 3 people told me last night?
Spit.
AJ Ferrari going in the portal today. What do you think about that? How does that make you feel?
That it makes me feel not terribly surprised. I would not be stunned if that were a reality. That would be shockwaves. Obviously, there's been a lot of highs with the AJ at Oklahoma State, but it's been tumultuous at times. Obviously, got to be difficult, and that it's not a foregone conclusion that his younger brother's going to Oklahoma State made me think it wasn't all that sunny, and I think they were the Ferrari family was pretty forward about that like, hey, it's not a done deal that he would go to Oklahoma State despite being in Stillwater, despite AJ being a national champion for Oklahoma State. So I think there were tea leaves there that it wasn't all gravy.
Isn't there a second brother that committed to Oklahoma State also?
He would be a freshman this year. Yes.
That's Anthony.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So it's AJ, the oldest.
Albert
James,
James.
then Anthony, then Angelo.
Yes.
Got it.
It's like the wrestling. It's almost like the wrestling version of the balls, right? In basketball.
Oh, like Lonzo and
Because they got like the same.
LaMelo. Mm-hmm.
They got the same. Couple of them got the same names, right?
Well, they all start with L's.
Literally,
LeVar.
I don't think they have the same name. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be shockwaves. That would be huge news. I'd be very curious where he would be looking, where he would potentially end up competing.
This is funny for Oklahoma State, Christian, because obviously it would greatly hurt their chances at doing really well next year because they're looking to have a pretty good team with some of the guys they got coming back. But obviously, if he's that much of a distraction, and just from the rumors we've heard, it seems to be the case. I mean, maybe it's positive in the long term. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be best for both parties if it ends up being the case. Doing a lot of self-editing right now. I think
I think that was one of those things that you meant to say in your head and it actually came out loud. Self-editing.
Yeah. Well, I guess I would say you don't know when AJ goes in the portal who initiated this decision, right? Could it be something where the staff is like, hey, maybe it's time? It could be somewhere AJ's like, it's time. I need to move on and get a fresh start somewhere else. You don't know, but.
Yeah,
not all gravy in Stillwater potentially, and rumors swirling, but they're just rumors at this point. And we'll see what reality is.
How many national champs have ever been in the portal? Not a lot, right?
Shane Griffith.
Shane Griffith.
He never actually.
Jason Surtis.
He entered the portal.
Surtis was in the. Right. Surtis transferred. Nick Soriano, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He did transfer before becoming a champ. I guess
transfer from
Rutgers.
Yeah,
Rutgers. You're right.
Well, I don't think the portal happened the first time that he transferred.
No, I think I'm going to say that Nick Soriano invented the portal. It was his. It was his idea. He's like, you need a website
across all college sports.
Yeah, it was his idea. So, I think. It is certainly rare. I don't know that it's going to be something that we always consider to be rare. I think it's going to be something we see more and more of. It's a time of college athlete mobility, and it's also a time where I think you see more and more people are less inclined to stick it out, figure it out, and even the best wrestlers will say, maybe I'll give it a shot here. Or I did it here, but I'm ready to go to this place, and not, or just, it's just about like experiencing different places. It's sort of a different sort of mindset with, I don't know, Ben, you're closer to elite wrestlers than we are, but just, do you have any insight into that kind of, that mindset or understanding?
Not really, because not really. I don't know if a lot of people I'm around think that way or act that way. I would say when I'm advising a kid, because I haven't had a lot that have wanted to transfer from wherever they've went in the first place. But when I'm advising someone who maybe isn't in that situation, it's like, okay, well, how about what do you want to do with your life? And does what you're doing now match up? Is where you're going to go? Is that going to be better? Is it actually your fault, right? Because some people are not introspective enough, and they're significantly more willing to blame others. Yeah, but I haven't had like to deal with that tons of times. Only a few, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I would say obviously if you. This is a societal remark, but that parents have, and I hate jumping on the bandwagon here, and so I'll say I'm in the middle. I'm not sure that this is the case, but I know this is the way a lot of people think, is that parents have shielded their kids from difficulties, and then therefore their kids don't know how to handle them, and the parent tries to cover everything up. So then obviously when they get to college and they're kind of adult-ish and they have difficulties, they're much more ready to leave as opposed to leaning into the difficulties and figuring out how to make them better.
Yeah, that's one of like the biggest disservices I see for the kids and wrestlers, and this is not related to any particular wrestler, just broader commentary. Like, the only rigor that the kids face for like the elite athletes is just like in the athletic realm, and even then, it's like everything is sort of they have to work, they have to put in the work, but even then,
they're put on a pedestal,
and everything's sort of catered around them. They have the work to do, but everything's sort of built around them, and then everything else in their life. School, food, travel, all that stuff is just handled by parents and handled totally. And so you end up with this person that has like all these boxes unchecked and just has like intense focus and like skill in one area. And it doesn't serve the person best long term.
Go ahead, Jose.
Well, I was going to change the subject. So Ben,
from a Christian perspective, give us it.
No, I was going to talk about.
No, damn it, we're on an important topic right now. Give us.
Yeah, no, I was going to talk about Ferrari. Okay. If I have a couple, I don't know if they're mind-blowing thoughts, but I think are really interesting. He enters the portal. Does Anthony also enter the portal? Do all three of the brothers take visits together and open up their recruiting together? And
that's a reality show.
We gotta make that a thing. Who's next? And then now this reality show. But then also, where are possible spots you could see AJ ending up at? Like, who needs a 197? Like, you could see
WWE.
Yeah, well, no, but like I could see like Michigan, honestly, Arizona State. I don't know where else.
Iowa State, Rutgers. I could see Iowa State.
Rutgers.
I could see.
I could see the WWE. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, or the WWE.
I could see those schools getting in the mix for sure.
Yeah,
I think they'd be all over young Albert. And
what, you think Bastida's going up, or that they just recruit over him and say, Bastida, you're going up?
They'll figure it out. I think one of them goes up to heavyweight.
Ferrari did talk about going to heavyweight, I guess. Yeah, depth of 197. It's not like it's say 141 where I don't say almost everyone, but almost everyone would want a really high level 141 pounder. There's a lot of high level 197s out there, so maybe not quite as much space. I want to circle back since Kozak wouldn't give us a biblical version of what
I wasn't paying attention to your conversation.
Give us the King James.
Oh, how rude!
I was just thinking about, do they all take their recruiting trips together and what that might look like?
They're very close as a family, so you gotta. I don't want to say assume, but I think any place AJ decides to go, if he does transfer,
it's a very tight knit family. Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I will say this. So AJ used to kind of try to buddy up with me when we were when he was in high school and I was always coaching AWA.
How the tables have turned.
I know. Well, listen. It's on video. He grabbed the dude's dick. Like, it was. Everyone could see it. It was freaking hilarious. I don't really know why he got mad at me about that. Like, we all saw it. He should be like, "Damn it, you guys caught me. I'm ashamed of myself." Anyways, when he did like me, and he would always come up and like try to choke me and stuff. It was funny. But he said he wanted to go to Rutgers, but his parents thought it wasn't conservative enough for him. That is out of his mouth. He told me that literal sentence. So. I don't know if that's going to guide his decision now, but that was definitely something he said that, I don't know, 3 years ago or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Hey, so what I wanted to make sure I gave the other side from earlier about, I said that, the kids need to learn how to deal with adversity and difficulty better. But I am a fan of the portal. I am a fan of kids being able to leave because I think the recruiting process where a 16, 17-year-old person goes to a college and decides that's where they want to spend the rest of their life is an inherently flawed system.
That's a long time to be in college.
No. What did I say?
Rest of your life.
Oh, rest of your life. Yeah, I mean, it will affect the rest of your life, obviously. But so they're going for 2 or 3 days, and they're getting shown the best time ever, and then that's where they're going to spend 5-ish years of their life. Man, there's a whole bunch of them who are either going to make a bad decision themselves, right? There's kids make bad decisions, right? Maybe they're motivated by money or distance or a girl or something like that. That's it's going to flake out. They maybe get a bad impression of the kids on the team. The kids on the team may change. They may get a bad impression of the coaches. The coaching staffs may change. No one gives a coach a hard time for changing teams. That happens, right? So all of these things can happen. And so, yes, there are going to be kids who go to college and say, man, this isn't what I expected. I've been here for a year. I don't really like it. This is not really this isn't my cup of tea. I want to go somewhere else. And I don't really see an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't see any issue.
I want to make sure there's that side of it. But yes, obviously there's,
Yeah, anytime someone leaves, there's blame. There can be blame on both sides for sure. That's the case. The reality is it is a lot easier to leave than it's ever been. And with that, you'll have people who leave for the right reasons and people who leave just because it was harder than they wanted or they're not as resilient. And this is not a commentary on anything that's happening right now. It's just reality, right? For humans, not for wrestling.
Yes.
For human beings.
Humans, yeah.
In other coaching shakeup names,
but before we move on, David Bray recently talked to Angelo about his recruitment, and he mentioned, in addition to Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Arizona State, North Carolina, Minnesota, and Rutgers as programs he's considering. But emphasized that he's looking at all options, but mentioned those programs specifically.
All options on the table. Okay, good to know. And we will monitor the situation closely. And hopefully have some follow-up there. Rumor mill Ben. And here we go.
Rumor mill Ben.
Not a rumor. Matt Lindland out at USA Wrestling. Greco, this was last week, but they announced it yesterday, I believe. And odd timing for that to happen, in my opinion. A couple months before Worlds, just after they set the team. I don't know what happened.
It makes me think that there was. Listen, I have on this one. I got nothing. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't ask nothing. But given the timing,
you're just blind shooting.
Well, no, the timing. It makes me think something happened because why in the hell would you fire a coach right now? Freaking wait till after Worlds and say, "Hey, thanks for your service. You're out." Right? If he wasn't getting a job done, you don't fire them. We're probably less than 2 months from Worlds, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
September.
Timing is absurd.
Yeah, almost exactly 2 months right now.
Yeah,
could be 2 months to the day, in fact. So yeah, that's a tight turnaround. Obviously, they hired Ivanov a couple months ago, and for Greco, he's the general manager of USA Greco. I don't know what it means to be a general manager, but that's his title. Good job. I'm assuming that he's going to be the leader for USA Greco moving forward. I don't know that.
He will.
Yeah.
He will be the coach in Serbia.
So
it said that in the release.
So there you
What
go.
is your who's your general manager at Flow?
General manager? I think we're hiring for that position right now for Flow.
Hey, call me.
Your name was thrown out there, but I was like, Ben would never do this. Ben's a coach.
Oh, I love Boston. I'm not moving though. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You wouldn't have to move. Let's do the interview right now.
No. Okay, interview me. Go.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. What's your biggest fear?
Sharks.
Okay.
Well, I don't go in the ocean, so
Week,
it's easy. I don't go in the ocean. That's the Sharks' house. I don't know if you guys ever seen the shark. That's the
I've
Sharks'
seen
house
that
video.
That's
Oh
come
my
up
God,
on the show.
It's so funny, and it's true.
It's
That's
so
the Sharks'
funny
house.
that you're so pragmatic, and like reasonable, and this is such an unreasonable take statistically.
It's not, though, Christian. It's not.
It's totally
Okay, so,
unreasonable.
Like, it is Christian.
Absolutely unreasonable. Statistically, you're more. I bet you're in more danger when you do lawn maintenance on Funky Fresh Farms than you are when you spend 3 hours in the ocean. Guaranteed.
No way.
Guaranteed. Lifetime in the ocean.
So listen, if I was in Thailand one time and that dude said, this dude on the boat tour said, there's no sharks that could eat you here. And I Googled it and he was right. Guess what? I got in the ocean.
Yeah, they can just take off your leg, but they won't eat you.
It's also not true.
There's only little ones. No, it's true. There's only like tiny little ones in Thailand, like not big sharks at all. And so like Southern California, there are some very large sharks there. I know. I'm not going in the ocean. It's simple. I don't even like the ocean that much. You get all salty. It's kind of gross. Then you get all sandy. Come back on the beach. Like, it ain't that fun. I'm out.
Listen, there's tiger sharks in Thailand, and they would absolutely.
No, there's not large sharks in Thailand. I looked it up.
This is from the ThailandLife.com. That guy lied to you, and you're not They would know. They would know. Bull sharks and tiger sharks have been located occasionally in Thai waters, but they're rarely encountered by divers.
Let's see. Are there large sharks? The largest may be a gray reef shark, but it's harmless. This is what I'm talking about.
Thailand also has a lot of coast. Maybe different part.
Yeah, here we go with the coastal talk. This doesn't make sense. What's Shane Sparks' greatest fear? We know his favorite food. We know his favorite food is goldfish and Frank's Red Hot. So what could his favorite fear, his worst fear be?
You know what? I used to hate mice, but that doesn't. I mean, that used to like when I was in high school. If I knew there was a mouse around, I'd be freaking out. Now I could care less. What's my biggest fear? Man, anything I'll say this as diplomatically as I can. Anything around my ex-wife scares the hell out of me.
That's fair. That is fair.
I'm putting in the doc, Christian. Right above voicemails. This is where I was. Are there sharks at PP Island? And you do not.
PP Island?
What are we doing?
PP Island's so great. It's a great island. You guys need to check it out.
Is that next to Poopy Peninsula?
Gee whiz.
PP Island.
What are we, a 4-year-old now?
Oh my gosh.
Island. Oh my gosh.
Slurp, slurp. All right.
See, I told you, different coasts, different sharks.
Yeah, that's true. Listen, if you're in the ocean, there's sharks there. Sharks that can kill you. Now I'm the one, distributing shark fear propaganda.
Yeah, you're a fear monger. I mean, it's common. You work for a news outlet, so you're gonna embellish and fear monger. I get it.
You go failing FloWrestling Times.
The failing FloWrestling Times. Yeah, we do perpetuate a lot of that, a lot of the fear. Okay.
In the pocket of Big Aqua.
Big water. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm the mayor from Jaws, just trying to get people to swim on the 4th of July weekend, and those beaches are going to be open. Have you seen Jaws, Ben?
Nah.
You haven't seen Jaws?
My wife bullies me because I did not live a normal childhood. Like, even when I was younger, I just like sports. That's all I ever liked. So I'd watch there's no wrestling. I was able to watch baseball or football or whatever. Like you start listing movies from the early 90s, like when I was a child, like she makes one example. I haven't seen Lion King. I haven't seen a ton of movies.
I'm the same
Titanic.
way. I haven't seen a lot
Never
of
saw
movies either.
Titanic.
Listen, I've never seen Titanic. I haven't seen a lot of movies. It's something I get ridiculed about all the time. Like I've never seen Back to the Future, never seen Titanic. Like,
what? Stop. Okay. I thought Titanic was a little off. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, half of us on here, I'm assuming, Kozak, did you see Titanic? You probably did.
Mm-mm. I don't know any.
I wasn't allowed to see it. I wasn't allowed to see it when it came out.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
I'm shocked that over half the people. JD, have you seen Titanic?
Yes, I've seen Titanic.
Okay, so you and I could let go. Christian, here's what needs to happen. You need to get a flight, or when I come to Austin next time, we are watching Back to the Future together. I can't. Okay. If you gave me, seriously, Christian, because you're about what, Christian? Mid-30s, right?
Yep.
37, I think, right?
37. So
you're 10 years younger than me, basically. Well, I'm still shocked by it because I think Back to the Future came out in about 85, 86, probably right around when you were born, but still, I mean, if you said to me right now, Shane, here's $1 million, you get one bet. How much of that million do you want to bet that Christian has seen Back to the Future? I might have saved myself a couple of bucks for some goldfish and some hot sauce, but other than that, I would have put the farm on it. You saw it.
Yeah.
You've never seen Back to the Future.
I've not seen a lot of movies. I'm kind of like Ben and John in this way. I just said,
okay.
It's sort of protective parents, and I don't know. They're sort of selective about what I saw. And then when I was like older, didn't really have an interest in seeing it, and just never happened. I'm not closing the door. I'm not unopen to
because there's
watching
3 of them. I mean, I believe there's 3,
How
right?
much
Yeah,
future
3
is
Back
there?
to the Futures.
Infinite.
So much future. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, so I haven't seen that. Why are we talking about this?
Matt Lindland.
This is
Matt
Lindland resigned.
No, I know how we got here. I can lead us on the right path. This is my specialty because I never drank, and so I was a constant designated driver. And so when my drunk friends were trying to figure things out the next morning, I could tie everything together for them. Like, oh, this happened and that happened. And that's why you were there, and that's why this guy was there, and then you punched him and whatever, right? Yes. Here's what happened. We started talking about Greco. Everyone got fired. Ivan Ivanov is a general manager. Then I said, I'll be a general manager. And Flo has a general manager position. And then you asked me what my biggest fear was, and I said sharks. We started going on that. That led to Jaws, which led to other movies, which led to
fantastic, man.
I'm so glad I asked.
That's impressive, Ben. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Ben, let me ask you this. I want to ask you this because I think about this stuff a lot. Yeah. Why, if I was a teammate of yours, and I know everybody's different, and people will argue this with me forever.
Yeah.
If I was a teammate of yours, and I saw the success you were having, and I saw your lifestyle, I probably would have copied you. I mean, did you ever, as a teammate, get frustrated?
Easier said than done.
What's that?
Easier said than done.
Were you frustrated though as a teammate when it's like guys are going out and drinking and doing whatever? Weren't you ever like, guys, you're not like try harder?
No, everyone wanted to be good. We were in a great time in Missouri wrestling history, and no one or very minimal, and I want to say close to no one drank during the season. So from usually Halloween would be like the last time we all had fun together. And then it didn't start again until after NCAAs.
Okay.
Then there was not an ounce of fun until April.
Yeah. I mean, no one was going out partying. But I mean, like, say Michael Chandler, Raymond Jordan, Max, Mark, like they didn't drink a lot. They weren't like partying constantly. Like they went and enjoyed themselves once in a while. It's like I realized that very few people could do what I did, and there's probably some slightly autistic and a little off that I didn't need to do those things to enjoy myself. No, we all got along. I mean, I honestly, like, closest friends to this day are from the Missouri wrestling team. Like, we all got along so well. And I honestly think that's something. If I would say, and I've given this advice to a few of my wrestlers who I think either we're going to go be leaders or already are leaders, is like, don't think everyone can do what you do, and don't put your standards on them. Just love them for them, right? And obviously, if most people want to be successful, so then they will like start leaning your way. But if you're like, you drink, you're an idiot, blah blah blah, they're gonna be like totally turned off, and they're gonna actually like fight back.
Exactly.
Won't be good.
Especially if you're like almost like a pseudo authority figure within the team, and you're the one that's like, there's like natural rebellion within us. We've got the rebel without a cause right next here. Your name's James Dean,
correct?
Your name's James Dean. JD's not all that rebellious, though. He does have a hog he drives around on. One day he's going to drive it into this headquarters. It's going to happen.
One day.
We just need to do it. I just need to figure out the timing. We need I need a producer like Nico or Tyler that's going to, keep it under wraps until.
What kind of bike do you have, JD?
Honda Shadow.
Okay. I'm assuming the Harley Davidson is the crown jewel for you?
Not necessarily. Maybe.
You
Harleys
seem like
cool.
a Harley guy to me.
Yeah, Harleys are cool.
We'll get him a Harley one day. It'll happen.
Hey, so you know who's the best choice for the new Greco coach? I was on the phone with people last night, and they said Brandon Paul. They said Brandon Paulson.
Paulson. Yeah.
Why would he want to do that?
I don't know if he does. I don't think he does, but yeah, he's a good
got
choice.
he got a sweet gig.
Yeah, but he's a good choice, right? Brandon Paulson or maybe Zach Dominguez. I know he's around quite a bit.
They're great.
Seems to do a really good job.
Great.
Who else?
Love the fight.
Who else?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would think with someone like Andy Bisick being in consideration, being our one of our most
That was one of the
successful
first guys that came to mind for me.
I'm not sure who else.
Medlin, maybe.
Medlin is an interesting option for sure. I don't know if he would want to leave, but yeah, I have no idea, to be honest.
What are you talking about now?
Great question. Well, we have Kozak here. We have a showdown with Iran looming, and Kozak, why don't you tee it up for us a little bit?
Yeah. So the ranking series in Tunisia. I'm not gonna pronounce the real name of it. So it's just the ranking series in Tunisia. It goes down.
No, give it a try. Let's get Spay back in here.
I'm not doing it.
He'll do it.
Yeah,
Fire him.
I asked Spay yesterday, and he said, "Don't even try."
Yeah, he would probably make something up to sound smart.
I mean, SGH all next to each other. That is just.
It's like the go hair, so hair or something.
He's
Scare.
Yeah.
He said, "Make a you don't mess with the Zohair joke."
Right.
Oh wow, that's not good.
But no, it
That
starts
good.
tomorrow with Greco, and then women and men's freestyle is Saturday, Sunday. Women's team, we have 15 women going from Team USA, along with 7 the world team members, or 6 of the world team members, and then we have like 7 or 8 men's freestyle with 6 world team members there. So a lot of our number ones will be there. There's really good tests for both styles, but the big one is 57 kilograms. Iran they're deciding their last 2 weights, 57 and 79 in Tunisia. So they're sending Ali Reza Sarlak, who was the 2021 world silver medalist. He lost to Thomas Gilman 5-3 in the world finals. Thomas Gilman will be in Tunisia. So we have a potential rematch of last year's world finals between Gilman and Sarlak. But then also they have another 57 kg guy, Ahmad Javan, who just beat Sarlak last month at the Takhti Cup. So both of those Iranians are going to be there at 57, along with Thomas Gilman. And then at 79 kilograms, they have 2 guys, last year's world silver medalist, Mohamed Nakhodi, who lost to Burroughs, I think 5-1 in the finals. And then also Ali Savadkoui, who he lost to Burroughs 2-1 on a singlet pole in February. So both those guys will be in the bracket along with Chance Marsteller. So those are kind of the 2 weights to circle for men's freestyle.
Cool.
Yeah. And then there's some really good women's matches as well. I'm interested to see Amit Ilor at 72 kilograms. I think she's got a former world medalist, maybe 2 world medalists in the bracket. So that should be fun to watch her there.
Yeah, I'm most interested in seeing how she does her first crack. She's on her first senior level world team after all her age level success and her dominance at Final X. Excited to see.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Fargo week, and one of the questions here is: did Shane Sparks ever compete at Fargo?
Never did. No, I never did. I think the first time I ever went there was 2008 doing the interviews. If I remember right, I think it was 2008, but no, I never did compete there.
Gotcha. Kozak, did you?
Nope.
JD did?
Mm-hmm.
Ben did not. He could not qualify, I believe, was the story.
That's funny.
Or he beat Troy Letters there. One or the other.
That was maybe my name. Shane, are you going this year?
I am not. Nope. No, last time I was there, I think was 2015, I think. So I was there, maybe 8-9 years in a row, but I have not been back in a handful of years. But yeah, it's a great event. I love going and watching the wrestling, and I'll watch it on Flow, obviously. But yeah, it's a long week. It's always a long week. I don't know how those guys at USA Wrestling, the Pete Isaiahs of the world, those are long days. Like, you talk about Groundhog Day. Fargo.
Yeah. Got to make sure you get outside.
I love it being in Fargo, though. I mean, I think it's a great city. People ask me, like, oh, in your travels, where do you love going? Granted, I would just be there for a week in July, but I think Fargo is a great place. I think I really like it there.
Hey,
I
do you have a disease where you can only say nice things about places?
No, I'm trying to think. Man,
Worst place you've ever been
like?
in your travels?
Ooh, me or Shane?
Man,
Nah, Shane.
Worst place.
I would
Shane,
say,
go.
gosh, there's trust me. I complain about plenty of places. Man,
I got a good story.
I can't think of one now, but I like Fargo, North Dakota. Ben reminds me a little bit of like Appleton, Wisconsin. It's like big. It's clean. It's not too big, but everything you need is there. Again, I've never been there in mid-January. I'm not a big fan of cold weather, but I think it's a good place. I'll give you another place, guys, that I love going to. Another place where I'll be like, oh, I love this place. People are like, what? Lincoln, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. Those places are freaking awesome.
Kearney, Nebraska.
I've never been to Kearney, but I'd live in Lincoln, Nebraska, or Omaha.
Lincoln's kind of small.
Anytime.
Omaha's fun.
Yeah, I like Lincoln. Every time I sit there, especially once you've been to a place a bunch of times, like wrestling has brought me to Lincoln a lot. Once you know where everything is, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, then it's even easier.
Say something nice about Detroit. I dare you.
The airport's gotten way better from the.
It is a nice airport. It is a nice airport.
It's the biggest shit ever.
That's in Romulus. You know that.
It is.
Little Caesars Arena is freaking nice.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Okay.
But
not about the arena, not about the airport. Say something nice about Detroit.
That is Detroit.
No, that's an arena. Nope.
Detroit.
Do it.
Gosh, I don't know if I've ever really. I probably haven't really been in. So you're saying where the arena is in Comerica Park is not technically Detroit?
Well,
It's absolutely Detroit, but
no, where the arena is. The arena, yeah,
I know, guys. I know, but you guys are saying something nice about an arena, not a city. You're like, you're not like the area around Little Caesars is really nice. You're like, when you're inside Little Caesars. What, Kristen?
The Detroit Zoo, fantastic zoo. It's a great zoo. I took the family there. We had a blast. It was like 40 degrees and like raining, and we had so much fun. Yeah. And it's like an outdoor zoo.
That's because it's located in Royal Oak, Michigan, not Detroit.
It's Detroit. It's Detroit.
The music, the cars.
The music. I mean, you think about
the people.
Detroit, the '84 Tigers off
the cars kind of brought it down.
Best baseball teams ever. I mean, it's
God. I mean, yeah. Well, I just was so in disbelief. It was so wild in Detroit when you're on one of those little electric scooters and you're riding down a 6-lane road and there's literally no one around and you're like, wait, it's the middle of the day. Like, what's going on here? This is so creepy.
And the only people you would see were wrestling people. They had team shirts. That was the weirdest part. This is a major American city and there's no one here other than the people working in places and anyways.
You're just in the wrong part of the city. It's a big city.
Guys, I'll throw you off. here.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself on this one.
Oh, wow.
There is a place I would say this. When it comes to Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Grapevine, Dallas, San Antonio, I love those places. Mm-hmm. I like Austin. I don't love it.
Oh, I love Austin. Houston was kind of dumpy, though.
Houston is not even in the same strata or San Antonio. Once you do the Riverwalk, you have completely done San Antonio.
Okay, that's all I've done. Yeah,
that's it.
That's what I did
That's
there.
it. We got Rainy Street.
Right, I had a story to tell. So back in the day, Bellator used to fight in these dumpy little Indian casinos because the Indian casinos would pay them a rights fee.
Yeah.
For it, right? And I don't even remember the name of the damn town, except I think Mark Branch was from there. Or there was some other Oklahoma really good, maybe Mike Sheets, someone really
Oklahoma?
Good, middleweight somewhere in there. I don't remember the name of the town. I should get a map out.
Mike Sheets is from Stillwell, Oklahoma. I know that.
Mike Sheets.
Well, I'm gonna look this up on the map now. But we go because I fought at a couple dumpy places in Oklahoma. Well, I mean that speaks a lot to Oklahoma, but moving on. Anyways, I'm like, okay, where are we going to eat it? It's after weigh-in. So I'm, using Yelp or whatever. And there's like nothing. It's almost barren, right? So eventually there's this Mexican restaurant that's like, it's got decent ratings. I love Mexican. All right, let's go. We show up. It's inside this rinky-dink little airport. It's like one of the where they have one gate type of airports.
Yep.
Where people fly their own personally owned planes. And that was where the highest rated restaurant in this town was.
Wow. That's wild.
So bad.
Well,
what was this?
I'll give you guys another great city. Indianapolis.
Naptown.
That's a great city, too.
I like it. I was there. I've been there for DCI back in the old marching days when I was working with that site. I liked it.
Newkirk, Oklahoma. That's where it was.
I'm trying to think. What's my favorite
Just north
place?
of Ponca. Maybe we should talk about some wrestling today.
Yeah, we're dabbling.
Now we're
dabbling. Let's get to some questions. What do you say?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Joe Warren, being the number one sport or top 5 in the country helps greatly. Talking about Iran. I find it amazing we have guys that can beat Yazdani and Sajalayev. I guess that's not really a question. More about that these countries that prioritize wrestling and that Americans can beat it when it's not our number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 most popular sport.
What does jingoism mean?
Well, that was a follow-up to somebody who asked a question.
Oh, yeah. Go, Ben.
Do you guys ever struggle to understand how international wrestlers are so great? The wrestling system and programs are able to create people that can beat Cal freaking Dake. Just not always a clear picture for me when I only have America as a reference.
Yeah, I mean that's I would say both the question and the response to the question are kind of interesting because obviously we have a lot of sports, not just wrestling, where we can see that while America is probably the best at some sports, specifically the ones that are endemic to us and they started here and they grew here, i.e. basketball, there's the Olympics and there's good people from a lot of different places. And obviously wrestling is a very popular sport in Iran, Russia, and other places. So yeah, there's going to be really good people there.
I also think wrestling's an interesting sport because the margins are so narrow, and the actual competition is so short. It's literally 6 minutes. So you can get way more random results. I think obviously over time.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Strongly. Yes.
I mean, you think if Kyle Dake wrestles that match 10 times, how many times does it look like that?
Well,
for one,
so I think
I would say that would be the only one that looks like that.
Okay, hold on. So I think there's certain people that are in the margins. But okay, yeah, I'll take myself as an unfortunate example. And I have brought this exact point up to you when talking previously about professional wrestling leagues. Mm-hmm. One of the issues is the skill levels diverge so much, right? So I can't really speak to other sports, but there's only, and maybe Jordan Burroughs is now slowing down a little bit, but let's go say 3 to 6 years ago. There's only a couple people in all of America that can even come close to Jordan Burroughs, stay in the match, right? Not even close. And so me, I couldn't stay in the match with him, but at the same time, I'd kill a lot of dudes who are pretty good. I have, right? I wrestled with them in the wrestling room. So I actually think with really high level wrestlers, if you give me 100 shots to Jordan Burroughs, I'm not going to get a lot of wins. It's going to be a really, really small number. And so yeah, really, really good guys are so good at every little piece of the game. It's going to be really hard to beat them. So whereas in, I feel maybe I'm not an expert in baseball or basketball or football, but I feel because of the team aspect of it, there's more things that could vary and there's more upsets more frequently. Jordan Burroughs is never, ever, ever going to lose a 9th ranked guy in America. Just not going to happen.
That's
not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I would think in basketball, sometimes the first place team probably loses to
team sports can't be compared.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I don't know anything about track and field or I don't know. I can't speak to any of those.
Gotcha.
But it does drop off fast, and that's one of the reasons why it's going to be hard to make a professional league. You'll definitely have to have guys from different countries because like in America, the number 9 guys they're not competing with the number 1s.
Yeah. Good points.
Yeah. Well, actually, like in boxing, in boxing, this is one of the things I wish historically I could go back and see, but like I'm a big Ali fan. I feel like even once he won the world title, he was kind of still beating up dudes that were bums once in a while. Like once in a while, he was fighting the second best guy, but then there was then he'd like beat up some guys who weren't very good for a little bit, you know?
Right.
And for whatever reason, maybe it's because just boxing can be entertaining when it's lopsided. People still watch that. But like if you said Jordan Burroughs versus who's the 10th best guy in America right now, like I don't know that a lot of people are going to get excited about that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. What is Shane Sparks' favorite Eddie Murphy song?
Eddie Murphy sings?
Oh, Eddie Murphy, Party All the Time, right?
Yeah, that's the only one I even know of.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only one that comes to mind. But I along those same lines, when I think about Eddie Murphy, I would say I think about Beverly Hills Cop. What is that, by Bob Seger? Shakedown. I don't know what the title is, but that's a great song, too. That was
Bob
that was
Seger.
money.
That's the best thing out of Detroit.
I won a lip sync contest in 6th grade doing that song.
Please reenact, Shane. Please reenact.
There's a video of it floating around someplace, but it was pretty good. 6th grade. I felt like a man that day walking around the hallways at school. That was a good day.
Absolute
hey, you know what
beast.
term I used last night, Shane? You're gonna that went out. I'm sure there's a term for all of you guys. The term preppy. Have you guys heard of the term preppy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I said it to 2 middle school kids last night, and they had no idea what I was talking about. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, oh, let me tell you what this means.
Yeah, I think Saved by the Bell is no longer in distribution.
Saved by the Bell.
Hang it all.
AC Slater winning the state title in the school cafeteria. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
That's how they do it in California. I don't know what to tell you.
That's right.
They've come a long way since those days.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, all right, Bunny Man's mad at me. He thinks I'm an Illinois hater. He says,
You are.
Piles is such a hater. I'd like to hear Shane's take on Illinois coaching staff and its Big Ten pedigree. How am I a hater?
Listen, I love Mike Poeta. I love Mike Poeta. He came, so we had 6 sessions. Sorry, other coaches. Mike Poeta won the vote for the favorite coach of the 6 coaches.
Everybody loves Mike.
Yeah.
They all.
Yeah.
How am I a hater?
No, but you're making fun of them because they keep posting their staff's credentials, which I think is kind of funny too. So I laughed at your comment, but you're definitely a hater.
Oh, no hater, not a hater. You know, it's.
No, I get what Christian, where he's coming from on this one though. I mean, and I think Mike Poeta. The first time I met Mike, Ben, was when you wrestled him at one of those Aegon events, probably 10 years ago. But and I've known Mike. I mean, he's one of my favorite coaches to deal with. He's just a cool, really nice guy. I like Jeremy Hunter a lot. I don't know Ed Ruth. Imar's always been good to me, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, we had that conversation last week regarding Oregon State and their staff, and they don't have a bunch of highly credentialed guys, but they're really good coaches. And I understand. Yeah, I mean, Illinois' got great credentials in their coaching staff, but at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily equate to, you know, winning.
Well, and I don't think.
So we'll see what happens.
If you don't want to talk about, they've just been. I find it to be overly propagandizing the credentials for their staff. Like, I don't think it's something that you shouldn't mention, but I feel like they just repeated it a couple times. So I was like, it's just a little joke. It's not that serious. I mean, it doesn't make me a hater. They're gonna have a pretty good team next year.
I don't know. I think you're a hater.
And that's the problem. That's actually the problem. Is like anything that is not blind, like total, just like, oh, everything's amazing, everything's great, is like you're marginalized as a hater now. I can't make a little comment without being, I'm in the hater category now because I'm not just saying this is an amazing staff because they were all really good at wrestling. But Ben is perpetuating.
We're all really good at wrestling, though.
That is undeniable. It is undeniable. So not a hater, and they're gonna be tough this year. They're gonna have a lot of good guys. I think they'll punch a lot through the tournament. How many they'll get on the podium, I'm not sure because the country's really good at wrestling. But they'll be in the mix. They're doing good.
So what's their lineup?
Illinois
So
win
they
the
have-
Big Tens
they
in
have-
maybe 05.
Ooh, they did.
Wow, I did not know that.
So Cargani's
they
back.
did.
Lucas Bird's back.
They'll have,
John Engels are back.
Luffman, Danny
Luffman.
Bronigal, Edmund Ruth.
Yep.
That's like 6 or 7 pretty tough guys. I'm not sure who there will be have it like 49 or 57, but
They were 25th last year at NCAAs.
okay.
They got a lot of guys in that.
Oh, they got
right
Kevon
around that
Davenport.
10 to 20 range.
Yeah, Kevon.
Oh yeah, keep it.
Kind of forgot
Yeah,
he transferred, but man, he is I really thought he was going to be really good, kind of out the gate, collegiately, but taking a little bit of
Who's
time.
that, Christian?
Kevon Davenport. He's actually from
Okay.
Michigan. From Michigan, went to Nebraska,
From Detroit.
ACC.
and now excited to see him get a shot. He wasn't able to crack the starting lineup at Nebraska. So curious to watch him. So Illinois, they'll be tough. Not a hater. Listen, I think I haven't tried it yet, Shane, but your goldfish and Frank's Red Hot. Corey Kaczynski tried it. He said, "Shane, you magnificent Justin Bieber loving son of a gun. This is a delicious combination. You have proven your worth."
Oh man.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Did you
I
invent
probably have
that?
What's that?
How did you come up with that concoction?
I have no clue. I've always liked goldfish, and then for whatever reason I added the Frank's Red Hot maybe 2 years ago, and it's been a game changer. It's fantastic, guys. I got to give you this real quick. My PSA on health. Had my first colonoscopy last Friday.
Shout
and
out.
I just want to remind everybody to stay on top of that stuff. Get it done. Take care of yourself. And I got to tell you, it was all you hear about with colonoscopies is how this drink is so bad. Like over the years, I've just heard that from people. Oh, God, that drink for the prep is so bad. If nobody would have said anything to me, I would have never thought it was bad. And because it wasn't. I was shocked by how easy it was. I was a little bit weirded out. I mean, the only thing I hate is when they put the needle in your hand. I'll never like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and you get a little bit nervous when you get knocked out. But I will say this last time, and then when I got my wisdom teeth out a few years back, that 3 seconds from when they're like, oh, you're going to feel your body's going to get a little bit warm now. That 3 seconds before you completely get knocked out, those 3 seconds are glorious. God,
Sounds like Shane's a drug. Are you advocating drug use right now?
I am not. I am not. You
I
guys,
got
I mean,
Michael
you guys
Jackson.
are a little bit younger, but make sure you
You're a
you
drug
stay on top
addict.
of that stuff. But
How old were you when
Yeah.
you got is that your first one, Shane?
first one, and I'm 46. I think the new age that they want you to get one is 45. My grandfather had colon cancer, so they're like, yeah, definitely get one. So just had one polyp, I guess, small, nothing big, but yeah, I don't know how I got going on that little PSA, but make sure you guys stay on. You got a lot of people listening to the show. Make sure you do that stuff.
I think Ben.
We gotta get back to it.
Ben.
Listen,
you can,
I'm
you
gonna
can get your-
I'm gonna take charge. I'm gonna be the general manager. This is what you're hiring me for. You guys are a disaster today. You guys are all over the place talking about a whole bunch of bullshit. You barely talking about any wrestling. I brought some great Ferrari news to you. We talked about that for like 2 minutes. Shane's talking about God knows what movies. He won't criticize the city. He'll only say positive things, so we can't trust his opinion. Christian, I don't know what you're doing. JD's just sitting there. You're all fired.
Wow, that's the leadership. That's the leadership ability that Ben could be bringing.
Ben's first act.
Kurt Arnoldson says every parent should demand mat side weigh-ins.
I like that. I like that.
Yep. I want to do it.
See you guys try to do it. I mean, someone suggested I do it for the AWA duels. I'm not totally opposed to the idea. I'll have to look into it more. Yeah, I don't really encourage our kids to cut weight, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I think really no one had any. There was never any pushback that did not involve like logistical difficulties for people running tournaments. Like that's what it all comes back to. And to me, that just doesn't rate high enough. And that's not a reason to put. the temptation of like extreme weight cuts, especially for these events that have no weight certification whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. All right. What's some other wrestling? Who do you guys predict will All-American from Penn State next year? So I think this question comes down to
who won't? How about that?
Exactly.
Who won't?
I got a pretty good feeling this Curtis Jirachi guy. I'm seeing him on the podium next year.
25, 49, and
41
57.
is a big question. 41?
No, I don't even want to argue with you about it, so I left that out.
Because you just are assuming, because you know it's true. You know it's happening.
I think there's a decent chance that, 41 is not looking great, so there's a decent chance of it happening. 65 is the other one. So, they have 5 obvious, probably top 2, top 3s, 5 obvious ones, and the rest are big up in the air.
What would you say over under 7.5?
Oh, under for sure. I'll bet that all day.
Yeah, because 7 would be pretty good. 57's not going to happen.
It'll probably be Bear Claw.
And 65, 65 is going to be so tough. Not forget that Fagundo's really, really good, but just the weight is really tough. Yes. So it's going to be just hard at that weight.
Yes.
Man, but the thing is, Ben, they've got 5, I would say, just locked in.
Yeah.
Like there's just no scenario where those 5 don't place, right?
So injury would be the scenario.
Injury would be the scenario. That is a scenario that Penn State has magnificently navigated for over a decade now of being able to
7.5. You're not betting the over on 7.5 on because 5. I've never seen.
All right, so I'm at 5 with the big 5, and I'm including Kirkfleet in that. And then the 6th most likely to place, I would say, is Bo.
Bartlett.
Bo Bartle. Next most likely is now either
Howard,
Van Ness, or Haynes if Haynes goes.
That's right. You're not saying
Who do you think I should say next?
I thought you because of the comments you made previously. I thought you were going to say Shane Van Ness.
He is who I would say next.
Okay.
But there's so many questions with this guy. We just have not seen him wrestle. He's an injury question, right? And here's the thing with Robbie Howard, why he's not a bad option. He was pretty solid as a true freshman with a very limited runway. His true freshman year was the shortened season where he got, did he even get 10 matches?
But he just lost to what's his face
in freestyle, and then freestyle's his best style. But
kid from Minnesota,
George Volk, yeah, all that happened.
He's good, but
look at 125 this year. There's going to be a path there, especially if Glory's up, which maybe not, but Vito maybe not. Could throw both at 33. Then it's just like Spencer, Courtney, and Killian Cardinale's back. There's gonna be a lot of good guys, but it's gonna be much more navigable at 125 than other weights. And 49 might be deep.
I mean, 65 is like crazy, which is why you probably want to exclude that one.
Yeah. 8 All-Americans for Penn State would be tough.
That's the most they've ever had.
Wow.
In the last 10 years. So they average 5.8 a year. Well, that was from 2010 to 2019. They've had 8 once, and then 7 twice, and then 6 a bunch of times.
Yeah. So it's a tough number to come up with. I think you probably make the over and under 6.5, and that would maybe be a little more interesting. 7.5 is tough with the guys they're gonna have, but they're gonna be freaking great. Okay, so that's a good one. How many All-Americans for Illinois? That was a question. Since I'm not a hater.
We're talking about junior freestyle, cadet freestyle, or the college team.
The college team. Oh, I think that was what the question meant.
Is Gable? I'm counting Minnesota guys on the class of 2024 rankings right now. Sorry about the Gable comment.
That's okay.
Honestly,
Illinois, 1,
2 or 3.
Yeah, 1.
1 or 2.
You got Bird.
Bird.
And that becomes interesting 133 if Vito and Glory bump up. I mean, that weight class would be just sick because Lucas Bird is a stud.
He's very good. He's very, very good.
He is a stud.
Bronigal was round of 12 last year, so you could argue 2.
Yeah. I say the numbers.
Luffman's tough. Tuffman.
Tuffman. Deep
Yeah,
weight.
Luffman's solid. It's just heavyweight is so nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the Big Ten, it's like
take out Gable, take out Jordan Wood.
Is Mikey Carr done?
No, Mikey Carr's got to be done.
He's on WrestleStat.
Yeah, Mikey Carr's done. Mikey Carr is done. He he won. I remember talking to Mike last year. He wants to be, I think, like a surgeon, and wanted to make sure that his hands dexterity. I think that's the word that Mike used, like just making sure that his hands, he's able to perform surgeries and stuff because he had some neck injuries. And Mikey Carr, God, he was really damn good.
He's got to be
good.
He's got to be one of your least favorite wrestlers ever, Shane.
Carr?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
He did the cry thing to Max Murin after he beat him. Do you remember this?
I do.
Max Murin got him back.
Murin got emotional after he lost, and Mike Carr did the cry thing. I can't believe you forget him.
Yeah, Carr was tough. I liked. He was really good. I mean, he was in the Big Ten finals. He lost to McKenna. I'm thinking. I
think that's right.
Years back.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right.
He had a big upset. He
beat Nick Lee. Yeah.
Mikey Carr beat Nick Lee.
His freshman year.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
he had so much. After that, he had so many years left, and he just never got to make it happen.
Yeah, injuries were tough on him.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, Ben, any other burning questions?
No, I leave for Fargo. Well, so with Team Wisconsin, we stop River Falls, do a little camp there. So the camp actually starts today. I'm going tomorrow, and then we're going to Fargo on Friday. So I'm super excited. It's going to be so much wrestling. For me, I'll be there 4 days straight of just pretty much wrestling from morning to night. I'm so excited for it.
Guys, they made the adjustment, right? Now it does not end with freestyle. Junior freestyle is like midweek now, right?
No. Cadet freestyle starts. That's been the case for many years now. I don't know how many, but a lot.
They used to end with junior freestyle finals, and I think that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. So it goes. It always was kind of like it would go cadet the first day starts, and then junior the second day. It used to be Greco, and now it's freestyle. So it's cadet freestyle starts. That's a 3-day tournament, and then the following day, so day 2 of cadet freestyle, junior freestyle starts, and that's
okay. So freestyle's first. Okay. Yep.
I believe cadet women start with cadet men also, if I remember correctly.
They do.
JD and Christian, you guys headed to Fargo also or not?
JD is. I am not.
Kozak, how about you?
Yep, but not till second half. I'll be there on Tuesday.
Okay, you guys have a good trip.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping freestyle.
Yeah, everyone have a safe trip. Good luck to the AWA contingent. Coach them up, Ben.
Battle.
Have fun. We'll be back next Tuesday, I do believe.
So
perhaps JD
are we going
will
to do live from Fargo? I will be live in Fargo. I'll be in Fargo. We're going live.
We'll
from
be
Fargo?
in a plane Tuesday morning during the show.
Christian, you want to go live from Fargo?
Most people say on a plane. He says in a plane. I like that.
Well, both are true.
Both are true, but only the true individuals say what JD just said.
Hey, Christian, you want to go live from Fargo or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
We'll see you there. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Shane, Kozak, Ben, and JD, and especially you for listening. We'll be back next week. Fargo starts very soon. Tune in, live on Flow. See you guys. Thanks.
See you guys.
Peace.
Thanks, Shane.